What's up? What's up? We back. This is my fourth attempt at this fucking podcast. I'm not a quitter. My parents did not raise no fucking quitter. So we're here again. I had to work out all the technical difficulties. But we're back. Product of the 80s podcast. This was supposed to happen yesterday. Shout out to everybody who stopped by. But we're gonna get this done. Shout out to my brothers that can't be here right now. Shout out to D80. Shout out to Black V. Shout out to C5. Shout out to Big Chicken. Shout out to the other bands. Shout out to Durant. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to everybody in the whole motherfucking world. If you're watching this shit, shout out to you. Also in the comments, the code is in there. We have some very interesting topics to talk about today. So if anyone would like to join in, feel free to pull on up. Today's episode is entitled Trouble in the Big House, right? Unless you're living up under a rock somewhere, I'm pretty sure you know exactly what I mean. We're talking about the Michigan Michigan University football scandal with Coach Sherrone Moore. It's been all over the place. It's been in the media the past couple of days. It hits somewhat home. And my brothers who do the show, we've talked about it a lot. We have a group text chat message that I wish a lot of times some of that shit could be showed on here, but because of certain situations and profanity and things like that, we probably can't put all of it on here. But a lot of it is some very good footage and a lot of good commentary about things that happen. That's not just with sports; that's with politics and current events. Us, and then we had some very good conversations about this, and I kind of had a very, very strong opinion about the situation before I heard anything about it, Greg. And I was wrong. I'm gonna say when I'm wrong, Greg, because I'm a very, very opinionated person. I have a very strong opinion, right? I'm all about it, right? I went on this big tangent in the text message, like, oh, they're firing for no reason. Oh, he's 9-3, fire Dion. He's 9-3. They're just doing it because he's black. Oh, they fired him because he's black. Oh, fucking Jim Harbaugh. They gave him 40 million chances. He beat Ohio State 10 years. Ohio State beat him 10 years in a row. They should have fired him. Now I got to eat my words. So I felt it was very important to say I was wrong and come on here and talk about the situation. Mike Sherrone is innocent until proven guilty. In the court of law, I'm not here to convict him of whatever it is he may be accused of, but I am here to speak on the situation, and I am here to speak on things that I say he could have avoided. You know what I mean? And I said regardless if he's guilty or innocent of the crimes. I know sometimes people are accused of things that they haven't done. So I'm giving the benefit of the doubt and make sure I speak on that. He is innocent until proven guilty. But my problem with him is this: he makes things bad for everyone else. Right? I spoke on this in the group text chat as well. I said that other people are going to pay the price. Well, maybe not in those words. What I actually said verbatim is that it's keeping a narrative going. And that narrative is that this big black scary guy, we have to protect these big black scary guys away from white women from them, right? And to a certain extent, he's adding validity to this, right? From some of the behavior that clearly he's done, right? I'm not saying he's guilty, but he is putting validity to that false narrative. If you look at the Shannon Sharpe situation, right? Now, it is clear that that man was done, right? It was clear. But because of that narrative that I'm talking about some consensual shit, right? And I feel like that's wrong. Sherrone Moore, even though this is after the fact, it's people like you that keep that narrative going, right? They feel like they have to protect them from you, from us, right? And it's your fault. So I have to speak. So let's get down to the nitty gritty of this actual stream, and let's get to the truth. Now, this thing to ESPN when we it should be loading here in a second, but former Michigan football coach Sherrone Moore, who remains in custody as a suspect in an alleged assault, is expected to appear in court for arraignment Friday, which was yesterday. The Pittsfield Chapter Township of Michigan Department of Public Safety announced Thursday. The Washtenaw County Prosecutor Officer told ESPN that it does not expect a decision Thursday whether to file criminal charges against Moore. Authorities have yet to release details about Moore's arrest, other than to say that he remains under investigation. Moore was incarcerated at the Washtenaw County Jail on Wednesday, just hours after he was fired as Wolverines football coach for having what the school said was an inappropriate relationship with a staff member. The matter involving Mr. Moore remains under active investigation by law enforcement, and as a result, we do not expect charging decisions or any arraignment today. Washtenaw County Prosecutor's Office spokesperson Liz Mack said Thursday. Mr. Moore remains in custody after the Washtenaw County Jail. Also on Thursday, Michigan President Domenico Grasso sent a letter to faculty and students asking anyone with information about Moore's investigation to contact the school. When the findings of a university investigation into coach's behavior were presented on Wednesday, we immediately terminated his employment. The email read, "There is absolutely no tolerance for this conduct at the University of Michigan. I have been in close communication with the Board of Regrets, and we are united in committing to doing what is right." Pittsfield police released a statement Wednesday night saying that they responded at 4:10 p.m. at the 3000 block of Ann Arbor Saline Road for the purposes of investigating an alleged assault. A suspect in the case was taken into custody. The incident does not appear to be random in nature, and there appears to be no ongoing threat to the community. Moore was initially detained by police in Saline, Michigan on Wednesday and turned over to authorities in Pittsfield Township for investigating into potential charges. Michigan fired Moore on Wednesday after an investigation into his conduct with a staff member. U of M head coach Sherrone Moore has been terminated with cause effective immediately, the school said in a statement, following a university investigation. Credible evidence was found that Coach Moore engaged in an inappropriate relationship with a staff member. The university initially investigated Moore this fall after receiving a tip about the situation, but did not find credible evidence of wrongdoing. A source told ESPN Moore came forward Wednesday that the source was overwhelming. More information came forward Wednesday that the source was overwhelming and led to Moore's immediate dismissal. Moore, 39, spent 2 seasons as Michigan's coach after serving as the team's offensive coordinator. Okay. That was a bit much. Hey, what's up, Christine Swisher and everybody else for stopping by. But yes, that's so far what has been being stated about Mr. Moore. I do understand that he is still into the county jail in that jurisdiction over the weekend. I don't know if it is because his bond has been denied. I'm not sure of the exact circumstances with that. But my point of what is it, right? A lot of that shit you could probably avoid, bro. You can avoid a lot of that. You know what I mean? Like, if this person is in their 20s and is a staff member, and I don't know the exact circumstances, all of the logistics to the case, but I do know that he is a married man. I do know that we all make mistakes and things like that. But in life, a lot of things are avoidable. I have heard from unconfirmed sources that this wasn't something that he was trying to hide. Going in that positive plan, because I'm not sure about that. But from my understanding, a lot of people actually were aware of this situation. I believe it now more based off what I just read, because if they were giving an investigation at the beginning of the season that just passed, that means that you knew something about it. So there was chatter going around. Rumors are not true necessarily, but it leads me to believe that maybe you didn't investigate into it more because you were more concerned with having a head football coach, right? Because the timing of the situation is very suspect. Right? You fired him right after the season. Now, that doesn't have anything to do with the timing of the incident. But I've heard from some very reliable sources that I can't confirm that this wasn't something that was a hidden situation. I've heard it been to her apartment several times. I've heard that she was a babysitter to your children while you're married. I've heard a lot of things. I'm not saying all these things were true, but bro, you have to be a little bit not as messy. You have to keep things in house a little bit more than that. You don't eat and shit at the same place. You know, I've heard that her and other individuals have been impregnated by you. When these pregnancies were terminated, I can't confirm that. Obviously, I wasn't there. But these are all things that I'm hearing. There's a lot of rumors that are circulating in this case, and again, you can avoid just bro, you're late 40s, early 50s. We're talking about 20-year-old people, right? You're breaking in her house. I'm not saying you did it. You're accused of breaking in her house. You're accused of stalking someone. That is not your woman, and you have a woman. Being greedy at that. Again, if you are innocent of these crimes, I hope that you are exonerated. But at the same time, bro, you got to do better. You can't put yourself in these situations. You can't. You're just being messy. And again, you're making it hard for other people because again, you're making this narrative be true. That he must be protected by these big black men. From these big black men. You're a predator. Moving along, I really don't even want to talk about that anymore. Again, shout out to Christine Swisher and everybody else who's stopping by. Let's move on to the next topic. So recently, and I haven't seen this yet, but recently 50 Cent has dropped a documentary. Right? Stupid it. I haven't actually watched it. My opinion from the outside with the end is biased. If somebody makes something about you and they have a personal vendetta against you, I'm not gonna take it with. I'm not gonna take it all as valid, right? I'm gonna see that you have a reason to say the things that you're saying. I'm not defending Diddy. I'm not defending Diddy. I haven't seen the documentary, but I am also saying that we should actually listen to his side of the story. The same thing with the former Michigan coach. We should hear his side of the story before we convict him. I can still say that, bro, you shouldn't put yourself in a situation that was stupid. But at the same time, we have to give people their due process. So with this documentary, right, before I watch it, I am understanding that 50 Cent has already had a problem with him. And I do understand that there is a woman involved, right? From my understanding, both of them were dating or having sex with the same woman. So again, I can't take it for 100% truthfulness. I can't, because it's 50 Cent. He's a hater. You know what I mean? But let's get to the information of the documentary so I can actually know what the fuck I'm talking about. Because again, I've never seen it with my own eyes. I am going to watch it. I'm definitely going to watch it, but I'm going to keep what I just said in mind. So, what I can read about it, 50 Cent executive produced a new, highly anticipated Netflix documentary about Sean Combs called Sean Combs: The Reckoning. It's a 4-part series exploring Diddy's rise, allegations, and recent legal troubles, featuring exclusive, previously unseen footage from the days leading up to his arrest, raising questions about his fall from grace and potential role in other music industry events, with the series becoming a huge hit on the platform. The key details about it: the title again, Sean Combs: The Reckoning, producer Curtis 50 Cent Jackson, director Alexandria Stapleton. The platform that you can watch it on is Netflix. Content unpacks shocking allegations, Diddy's empire, and features raw footage showing his behavior before his September 24th arrest, including phone calls with lawyers and interactions with fans. Reception became the #1 TV series on Netflix, sparking discussion and criticism from Combs representatives who called it a shameful hit piece. Controversy involves the use of private recordings, which Netflix legally obtained, leading to legal threats from Combs' team. Though Netflix defends the material as obtained legally, according to the BBC, which is the British Broadcasting Company, for all y'all out there that play the pause in the movie. But again, uh, my personal opinion on it is biased information. 50 Cent is definitely a hater. That's not saying what he's saying is not true. It could be truthful information. I'm not sure. I have not actually sat down and took the time to review it and watch it. I will watch it. I won't pay to watch it. It's on Netflix. I'll watch it and I'll form my opinion after that. I've heard mixed reviews. Um, it's opinion based. I've seen some people say, that's why Puff did this, that, that's why he did that. But again, I can't take it as credible because 50 Cent, you are a known hater. And you are a known liar. Right? And you also are a snitch. I don't care what nobody says. This proves that you're a snitch. It is what it is. These allegations about him may be true, but you're definitely a snitch, bro. However you look at the situation. So check that out if you haven't got a chance to check it out. I actually will watch it myself, and I will form my opinion after that time. So on to the next topic. So the college football playoff system has started. I'll speak on the bracket and I'll give you a couple of my picks. I'm not an expert. These are just my personal opinion. So we have Oregon versus James Madison. I'll pull it up on the screen as well. And this is off of ESPN. So let's see what we got. We got James Madison versus Oregon. I think I'll take Oregon in a close victory. I think people sleep on James Madison because they don't play in a Power 5, Power 6 conference, but they've been beaten ass the past couple of years. I just think that with the recruiting, I think Oregon will sneak by. The next game, Alabama versus Oklahoma, that's a toss-up. I'll say maybe Oklahoma probably pull that off. I'm not too sure. I think they're very even teams. The next week, whenever they play Indiana, they're going to get scraped. It doesn't matter who wins that game. Tulane versus Ole Miss, another tough one. I'll take Tulane. I'll take Tulane for the upset. It looks like they're a 17.5 point underdog. I'll take Tulane. It'll be a tough one, but I'll definitely think Tulane will win. Ole Miss, they've had a great season. I doubted Ole Miss from the beginning. I thought Ole Miss was a couple of my pod brothers. We have arguments about that as well. I thought Ole Miss was just as I say, facade. I use that word a little bit too much lately, but I didn't think Ole Miss would be the top 16 in the country for you to make it this far. I am surprised, but I think that you're going to lose this to me. But that's going to be an interesting game next week. Next Saturday actually at 12:30. I can't wait to actually watch the game. Who do we have next? We have Miami versus Texas A&M. That's going to be a good one. That one can actually go either way. I'll take Texas A&M. I don't think they'll win by 3.5, but I'll take Texas A&M straight up. I'll take Miami with the 40 points. So that's what the games we have coming up next week. I actually can't wait because there's not really shit on. There's a couple bowl games that come on this week, but I want to know who's going to win it all. That's my interest. So next week, 12:30, make sure you check out those games. It's going to be action packed. It'll be on TNT, ABC. Yeah, TNT and ABC are the major networks that they're going to be on. So make sure you check those out. Moving on to the next topic. Give me a second here. So this was going to be the second topic that I actually should have brought up, and I think this is the most important topic of today. I didn't name it in the title because by the time the information was released, the title for the show was already made yesterday. But I could have definitely just did a stream directly about this. We made another one. But the Epstein files, a lot of new things have been released. Give me a second. publicly released photos from Epstein's estate include images of Clinton and Trump. Now all of a sudden, Democrats on the House Oversight Committee on Friday released another batch of photographs obtained from the estate of Jerry Epstein, including some never before seen images of Epstein with famous men with whose connections to the deceased sex offender have previously been reported. The disclosure by the committee Democrats includes images of Donald Trump, former President Bill Clinton, Woody Allen, former Prince Andrew, and billionaire Richard Branson, among others. The context, time frame, and location of the photographs are unclear. These disturbing photos raise even more questions about Epstein and his relationship with some of the most powerful men in the world, said Republican Robert Garcia, Representative Robert Garcia. He's a Democrat from California, the ranking Democrat on the Oversight Committee. We will not rest until the American people get the truth. The Department of Justice must release all the files now. The 19 photos made public are from the cache of more than 95,000 photos turned over to the committee by the Epstein estate in response to a subpoena, the committee Democrats said in a press release. Other images under review by the committee include thousands of photos of women in Epstein properties, according to the release. The images come from the hard drive of one of Epstein's personal computers and one of his email accounts, according to the committee Democrats. The disclosure includes a rare image of Bill Clinton with both Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. In the photo, a smiling Clinton stands in the middle of a group of 5 people, with Maxwell and Epstein on the right and the other identified woman and man on the left. The photo includes what appears to be Clinton's signature. Looks like it to me. Vanity Fair magazine previously published an image of Epstein with Clinton that was said to be taken abroad, Epstein's jet in 2002. That photo was credited by the magazine to one of Epstein's assistants. Epstein and Maxwell were previously seen greeting then President Clinton in a 1993 photo at the White House event for donors to the nonprofit White House Historical Association. That picture was found at the Clinton Presidential Library. 3 of the photos show Donald Trump, though Epstein himself appears in only one. That picture appears to be from the 1997 Victoria's Secret event in New York. It shows Epstein next to Trump as he talks with one of the models at the event. Other photos from that party have been public for years. Another photo shows Trump seated on an airplane next to a woman, apparently an adult, whose face is covered with a black box. And the third photo, a black and white image, shows Trump in the center of a photo with 6 women, who all appear to be adults and whose faces are redacted. The image appears to be from a public event, though the event and time frame are not known. As for his reaction to the release of the photos, Trump told reporters in the Oval Office on Friday that he hadn't seen them and that he knows nothing about it, but it's no big deal. In an earlier statement, White House spokesperson Abigail Jackson said, once again, House Democrats are selectively releasing cherry-picked photos with random redaction to try and create false narratives. Here's the reality. Democrats like Stacey Plaskett and Hakeem Jeffries were soliciting money and meetings from Epstein after he was a convicted sex offender. The Democrat hoax against President Trump has been repeatedly debunked, and the Trump administration has done more for Epstein's victims than Democrats ever have by repeatedly calling for transparency, releasing thousands of images of documents, and calling for further investigation into Epstein's Democratic friends. As you can see the photo here with Trump in it, it's time for the media to stop regurgitating Democrat talking points and start asking Democrats why they wanted to hang around Epstein after he was convicted. The state said. A spokesperson for the Republican majority on the House Oversight Committee also criticized the Trumps for cherry-picking photos to malign President Trump. Once again, ranking member Robert Garcia and the Oversight Committee Democrats are cherry-picking photos and making targeted redactions to create a false narrative about President Trump, the spokesperson said. We received 95,000 photos and Democrats released just a handful. Democrats' hopes against President Trump has been completely debunked. Nothing in the documents were received shows any wrongdoing. It is shameful Representative Garcia and Democrats continue to put politics above justice for the survivors. Among the famous men pictured with the Epstein and the newly disclosed photos are titans of Hollywood, businessmen, academia, and politics. Appearance of these men in the photos is not evidence of wrongdoing. In one image, a casually dressed Epstein is seen chatting with director Woody Allen on what looks like a film set. Allen sits in the director's chair, peering intently at Epstein, who appears to be looking in a video monitor. Allen appears in 3 other photos aboard an airplane with former Treasury Secretary Larry Summers and his wife, seated at the table with Epstein and a woman whose face is covered with a black box, and chatting with political strategist Steve Bannon, who worked for President Trump during the first administration. There is a selfie photo of Bannon with Epstein, apparently taken by Epstein on a mobile phone, as a pair stand in front of a mirror, and another of Bannon sitting across Epstein at a desk. Billionaire Richard Branson appears in one image, seated outdoors with another man, Epstein standing behind. The smaller man appears to be sharing a chuckle as Branson holds up a page of a notebook that seems to contain handwritten numbers and equations. Microsoft, Bill Gates is shown in 2 photos. I think that we can kind of get the point here. I really don't feel like keep reading this too much more. So, my personal opinion on all of this is this, right? Okay. So, we know that Epstein had many a famous person at his island, right? I think that the more alarming thing about the situation is that y'all lying. All you have to do is just tell the truth and just say you weren't there when the shit was happening, right? That was a vacation I went to. There was all kinds of things going on there. There was plenty of bad things. And there was a lot of good things, you know. Again, there was plenty of children there from time to time. I'm not talking about as far as the spec shit is going. I'm talking about on the amusement park side, right? Millionaires that took their families there on vacations and didn't know anything about this. Y'all should stop lying and say that you don't know. Because when you lie, it makes you look guilty. I understand that you want to disassociate yourself from 3D activity. I would too. But for you to say that you don't know him or you weren't there when you know that you were taking pictures, it's just fucking stupid. It's fucking stupid. It just makes you look like a liar. And if we're talking about the court of law, once we know that you have one lie, everything else that you say is no longer credible. So there's no telling what the fuck you did. Like, I hear people saying, oh, President Trump, he got caught sucking Bill Clinton's dick. I don't believe it. But when you act like you weren't there and you try to cover these things up, and I'm talking about both situations, it makes it, well, not true, but it makes it simple, in my opinion. Moving along, let's talk about the Lakers. Okay. So the Los Angeles Lakers are doing significantly better than what I thought they would be doing this year. They're 17-7. They're first in their division. They look good. Me and my brothers that we do podcasts, there is a group text chat, as I spoke about earlier. And a lot of times I get the Lakers flack because they're old as fuck. And when I say that, I'm talking about LeBron James. I didn't really think that, well, I did think that Luka Doncic trade would make them better. I didn't think it would be good. I didn't think that they would be good. I don't think that they would win the finals this year, but they do have a hell of a shot. They'll definitely get probably second round, third round, conference final. You know, I can't see them necessarily beating Oklahoma. I think Oklahoma has a little bit too much youth on their side for the Lakers, but the Lakers they look good. They look good. I can't lie. I seen LeBron James when he came back, maybe about 10 days ago, 2 weeks ago. He's still rusty. He's looking mortal. You know, we've always seen LeBron James as unstoppable. Father Time can't beat him. Blah 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 blah. But it's catching up. I want him to retire, and the reason I want him to retire after the season is because he has nothing else to prove except for the haters what they said about him to be true. Right? The longer you want, the less effective you are. It's just like boxing. You watch people box. They're 40-something years old, and they get knocked out by a 20-year-old. Oh, 2 or 3 wasn't that good. You're talking about a 40-something-year-old man. You're talking about his ego. You're not talking about him at his prime or what he was. Like right now, Roy Jones Jr. There's a lot of people that beat the fuck out of him. We're not talking about '96 Roy Jones, but a lot of these people that are critics and things like that, you've never actually seen them do it. A lot of people that are alive now, they just remember old Bron. They don't remember 03 Bron to 12 Bron, right? Or even shit, he was even a championship player way after that. But I'm just saying, the young years when you couldn't stay in front of him, when he was lightning fast, when he was the fastest person, maybe not the fastest, but one of the faster people in the NBA. We don't see that. We see old man Bron. We see slow Bron. We see flashes of him. So he has a night where he looks unstoppable, but the next two nights, he's throwing the bricks. But on his side though, you got Luka. You don't have to have the ball. You got AR. He's another ball handler. I think that pick from DeAndre Ayton was a big pickup. It was a big pickup. He can play. DeAndre Ayton, he gets a lot of flack because he's not the best. He's not the best defender, but he's sure can fucking score. He's 7 foot. He can score. He has a nice touch. He can dribble. Again, he's not the best shot blocker, maybe, but that's the only weakness he really has in his game. Bron's the 4 or 5 shooter because of him. So the Lakers, they have a great chance. They have a great chance to shoot. I think maybe if they get one more piece inside, dominant shot blocking force, then I think they would win it all. But I mean, at some point, you can't have everything. You can't have the best player on your team. You can't have the most improved player on the team. You can't have arguably the GOAT on the team. You got a lot. So I like what I see in LA. They're not my favorite team. Bulls are obviously, but they're playing their ass off right now. The NBA tournament has started recently. I'm not the biggest fan of that. I don't see the point of that. But it's sports, it's basketball, it's something to do, it's something to watch. So I'm not mad at it. We got a couple games that are coming on later tonight. Let's see who's playing. I actually forget. So tonight you got the Knicks. And you also got the Knicks playing Orlando, and you also got San Antonio playing Oklahoma. But it says at 2:30. What time is it? Oh, that's 2:30 Pacific tonight. Okay. So I guess that would be like 5:30. I'm wondering how is that possible? So yeah, the tournament is the Knicks versus Orlando tonight. And you got San Antonio versus Oklahoma. So I'm gonna take. Let's see. I think the Knicks could probably. Yeah, I think the Knicks would beat the Mavericks. I think they probably would. And the Thunder are 24-1. I can't go against the Thunder right now. They look amazing. On top of the fact that the Spurs, they don't have Wemby right now. I don't know if he's coming back tonight, but I know he's been out for a while. Shout out to Wemby, but I think I'm gonna have to agree with one of my co-hosts, Miguel. I don't see him staying. If he could, he probably would be the best shot blocker of all time. I've never really seen anything like him. Nobody has. But especially in defensive end. But I don't think that he's going to go well. He's been hurt too many times already in his short NBA career. But again, we got basketball on tonight, so I'm not complaining. All summer long, I didn't have any NBA to watch, so I'm gonna shut the fuck up. Again, I'm not the biggest fan of the in-season tournament. I do not see the point of it. It does not prove jack shit. I don't think that it makes the viewership go up in any way either. But it's something to do. It's something to fucking watch. On to another topic. There's been something I've been seeing that's been going on that I don't know if I really like too much. Because again, 50 Cent, some of the things he does, I like that. I'm gonna give him credit. He's helping Monique, or he's helped Monique get back on her feet, giving her jobs and shit. 100%. most people turn their back on her. So I do respect that about him. But he's a hater. He's such a hater. I could be called that too, but he does it just to do it, right? He's almost like a booty. I think he might have met his match. Well, he's met his match before, because when he was trying that shit with the game, I don't really feel like 50 Cent won out like that. I don't think that you got the best of the game. I don't really think that you got the best of Cameron either, because Cameron is petty like you, and I think that those are some pretty good matches for you. Now I know you met your match, and the reason why is because you're playing with a comedian. So let's talk about that. So recently, like I was saying, 50 Cent has been getting into a lot of drama. And here's one situation. So according to, this is the website that's called The Tab. So here's the 50 Cent and Marlon Wayne explained after the Savage Instagram post. 50 Cent and Marlon Wayans are going back and forth right now. But what started the beef, and did Marlon defend Diddy? Here's everything that actually happened in the beef. It started when Marlon Wayans warned 50 Cent about karma for Diddy's documentary. On December 8th, Marlon went on the Cruise Show podcast and gave his hot take on Sean Combs. The Reckoning. The Diddy documentary series released on Netflix last week. The series was executive produced by 50 Cent, who is known for having a long-term feud with Diddy. Who's telling the story? You can create any narrative as a producer or a director. And as a storyteller, I can create a narrative for the story. Marlon and Diddy were friendly in the 2000s. He previously admitted attending plenty of Diddy parties back in the day, but always says he left early. You're creating a narrative. It doesn't mean it's true or unexplained. I can get interviews, I can get footage, and I can make you think this about that person. That doesn't necessarily mean it's true. He also gave a caution warning to 50 Cent. You got to be careful what you put out there. Wayne said in the same interview, there's a karma to every action. It's between him and Puff on the side. It's between both of them and God. Then Marlon stirred the pot even more last night by posting an AI-generated picture of 50 Cent and Diddy in a hot tub. As you can see. Just for the record, bro, let's correct the narrative. Curtis Rubber Dub, stop, the caption said. So, 50 clapped back on Instagram. In a new Instagram post, Curtis 50 Cent posted pictures of Marlon draped in a pride flag and surrounded by multi-colored plastic balls. Diddy got this fool trying to get at me, LOL. No AI, that's a vibe, boy. Keep my name out your mouth, he said in the latest Instagram caption, seemingly making fun of Marlon for the pride thing promotion. 50 Cent had previously addressed the rumors that he helped make the Diddy doc because of his personal beef with 50 Cent, claiming it has nothing to do with that. To be honest, just to culture this up, 50 told GQ, if someone's not saying something, then you would assume that everyone in hip hop is okay with what's going on, because other rappers will say, I ain't going to say nothing. I'm going to mind my business because of the position that Diddy held in the culture for so long. So that would leave me, without me saying what I do, that I will do it. There's nothing there. So after reading that, I can understand 50 Cent defending himself, because truthfully, I guess Marlon said something about him first. He made a picture about him first, so I can't blame 50 Cent for defending himself. Again, I'm not the biggest fan of 50 Cent, but Marlon, you said something to him first, so he has all right to say shit back to you. So I kind of take back what I said about 50. I'm not the biggest fan of him, but I'm not going to sit there unless you say shit about me. Now, on the other hand, what Marlon is saying is true. It's true. Karma is a bitch. And 50 Cent, you didn't have nothing you don't got nothing to do with that. You don't got nothing to do with that situation. So it is what it is. You decided to make a documentary about him. I'm not saying what you're saying is not true. And it seems like you did it because you have a personal vendetta about him on a woman. And if that's the reason why you did it, you're weak. You're weak. Right? Especially if you're sitting there saying he's gay, he's this, he's gay, he's that. You got your bitch. So you're weak. You know what I'm saying? You know, I could see you fucking with him just to fuck with him. Or if he did something else to you. I have heard and seen interviews where you stated that the man offered to take you shopping. You have been saying stuff about him for years. I'm not going to say this is something new. But at the same time, you're kind of down right now. So you ain't right for kicking me right now. You ain't right. You could have made that fucking documentary before. Or you could have waited till we got out. But it seems like you're just trying to draw out drama, in my opinion. If what you're saying is true, if everything in that documentary is valid, at the same time, I can't blame you for telling the truth. I don't get mad at people when they say true things. Like you're saying something that's true, but it does still feel like it's coming from it's coming from the biased position. It feels like you're doing it because of a woman. That's the way that it seems. So if that is the reason why you're doing it, I do not respect it. I don't respect you, and I don't respect it. I will watch it and form my opinion after I see it, as I've stated about 10 times today. Once I just read that stuff about Marlon and you, I had to change my mind a little bit because he started it with you. He made the video of you. Excuse me, the picture. So you have all right to defend yourself, even though I don't really care for you. I think that's about it. Maybe I have another topic to talk about, which my brothers could have showed up for me, but I can't be mad at them because last night they definitely tried to. My audio and all that shit was completely fucked up. I had to literally hook up my microphone to make it work. There was a bunch of people in here watching, and I'm just talking. My mouth just going. I'm just like. I actually watched the recording and shit and see myself just going, talking to nobody. But again, I'm persistent. I'm not a quitter. So I decided to do whatever I had to do to get my audio situation right to make this stream because I wanted to speak on trouble in the big house because it's a trending topic. And those Epstein files, those pictures are crazy. I can't wait till everything comes out. I'm not going to pick and choose because it doesn't matter if you're Democrat, Republican, Independent, if I liked you as a politician or not. If you are involved with the harm of minors, you deserve to go to jail. You deserve to be exposed. You deserve to get whatever's coming to you, and there's no reason that we should hide these things. I don't think either party is right. I think both of them are dragging their feet with exposing everything that they know, and this has been going on for 2 years. So clearly, there's some things to hide, plural, not just one thing. But I want to thank all y'all for stopping by in your time of your day. Listen to me run my fucking mouth. Shout out to Big Chicken. Shout out to D80. Shout out to Black V. Shout out to C5. Shout out to Terran. Double shout out to Terran because Terran tried his hardest to come on here yesterday. He tried 2 or 3 times. Shout out to Terran. Shout out to Miguel, Diablo Benz. Who else? Shout out to the people I deal with on the atheist side. Shout out to Apple Atheist. Shout out to Stephanie. Shout out to Pretty Cat. If you ever seen my interviews with them too, with Stephanie Pretty Cat, go to my page. YouTube.com/Reggie. I got an interview tomorrow with this lady named Louisiana. She's very interesting. So definitely check me out on that. If not, catch me on TikTok or catch me tomorrow on Faith Lies and Confusion. I'm about to make sure that I get my podcasting back together. I'm just slipping a little bit, but I'm definitely gonna get it together. Catch us on Product of the 80s podcast soon, and AAA Podcast Sports Wednesdays or Thursdays. Get the show back going. Thank you again.